Okay, we will set that there. And I guess this is kind of an impromptu video. And I'm going to be making some jigs because I discovered that I have a show this weekend that I was able to get into at the last minute. And went to check my box for jigs. They're gone. Every one of them. I believe I've been commandeered by a pirate, but don't you guys fret. I'm going to make them walk the plank. So, I got quite a variety of jigs here and some weighted hooks. I know it's not the norm to paint weighted hooks, but I like to do it simply because the belly on most of our baits are pearl white. They may be other colors. I have some Morning Dawn and stuff like that. And I just always felt that if that weight was shiny and silver, the fish might strike more at the weight than they would the bait. And I may be wrong. I don't know. Me and Chris Jones, we're the world's worst fishermen. But I found my hookups and I've eliminated a lot of the strikes that are just kind of strange. If I just go ahead and paint the weights, I mean, it doesn't take much. It's not going to hurt anything. Might not help anything either. I don't know. So, but anyway, to show you my setup, the first thing we need to do is I'm going to start with this green, it's green pumpkin, light green pumpkin. And I like light green pumpkin on steroids. I like to give it a little pizzazz. So in order to give it pizzazz, you add glitter. And since I never want to add glitter because to the paint that I'm using, because I may want to use a different color glitter next time. So what I've found works best for me is I will add glitter to Barlow's clear. I get this half-pound of clear and I go through a lot of it. And I add my glitter to the clear. So I got my little float bed here going. What I'm going to do is add a couple tablespoons into that mixture. And I think you can see, looking down into it, it's not going just yet. But the thing about glitter for jigs is you need the finest stuff you can get. And Hobby Lobby has this stuff that they call extra ultra fine. It measures 0.0006. And so I like to use that. And I'm just going to add a little bit to taste of gold. I want gold and red with this. More red than gold. You know, green pumpkin red. That's kind of a nice color. So we'll add that in there. And then I start my air. Now, when I start my air, you can see it starts to volcano. And everybody says, oh, pull it back right before it volcanoes. Well, you're not floating at that point. If you just keep going right through that volcanoes, all of a sudden you'll see it start to lift and boil. And you can see that pretty well in there. And as long as it's doing that lift and boil, you're constantly stirring and your glitter will stay suspended. Otherwise, glitter's heavy and it won't stay suspended. So now these will have the little weed guard on them. And like Adam at SDG, I like to put a little piece of heat shrink tubing over the eye so I don't have to mess with it. Now, unlike Adam and everybody else, I'm the world's laziest bait maker. Um, I like this. This is a Hercules heat gun, and on the back of it, it has all these settings. And so I set the temperature at 500 degrees. Realistically, for epoxy powder paint to adhere to the metal, you need about 350 degrees. Okay. You're going to harden it at that. You could probably get away heating it to 250. Everybody says count it. Not me. Set it. Forget it. And I move on to the next one. Get my heat shrink on. I'll put my little weed guard in there. And I'll set it on there too. And after a couple seconds, that'll be good and toasty. Now, I'm not exactly sure why you need forceps to do this. I've used them, and all I find is I mess up my forceps. But I'm going to get my paint. Now, some powder paints from Barlow's are just heavy. They are really heavy. And they won't get that nice boil. Your pumpkins are that way. Sand colors are generally that way. Any other powders that have a lot of flake in it will be that way. So for those, I just shake them up a little bit. I dip and swirl in there, tap it off, take it back to the heat, and you can see it's almost instantly glossy. Now, the next step is I go right into my clear, I swish it around, I tap it off, right back over the heat for just a second. And as that clears up, you can really see that that's got just a really nice, see if I can get the sparkles to show up. You can kind of see them. I wonder if this one would do better. Not really, huh? But the sparkles show up. They kind of reflect in that. You know, GoPros suck. You can kind of see them there. Make sure you pull the heat shrink tubing off. Okay. You're not going to be heating it anymore. You're not going to be dipping it anymore. Get rid of it. Excuse me. Pull your pin out. And we'll set this up here to cool. Now, I have tried this with some larger flake. And we'll do one of those real quick. I happen to have it out right here. I get these little bottles at little jars at Hobby Lobby, little plastic ones. They're like $1. They're pretty cheap. I like them because they have those two lids on them. So if I don't get the lid screwed on correctly, which I've been known to do, it'll still seal some. So again, we're going to get this going. There's the volcano. We want to go right through that and get that to a nice rolling boil. Well, I almost put too much in that one. I'm going to have to get rid of some of that. If you don't boil this stuff fast enough, if you don't have enough air going through it it won't roll over. And if it won't roll over, your glitter won't stay suspended. Let's try that, see. Yep, there we go, right through it. And now you see it's lifted up in there and it just floats. That's what's keeping that glitter suspended. So another heat shrink tubing. I'll put this one on, take this one off. We'll get it in the pumpkin. That one glossed up good enough. I'm just going to go straight into that dip, and then we'll clear it up. Now with the bigger flake, you can really see that big flake in there. So again, sorry, GoPros suck. But so it's kind of, I don't know, personal preference. The smaller the flake, the easier it is to keep suspended, and the better overall reaction you're going to have ultimately. Bring that up to dry. And if you're really brave, you can do a little bit of both. So that one's heated up. We'll take it off, put that one on. We'll hit the green. We'll hit the little flake. We'll hit the big flake. The only reason I don't really like doing that too much is because that clear gets awful thick on there. But it does make a very nice effect. You can see that where you got that little flake and big flake mixed. Maybe you can't see it. I don't know. You'll have to tell me in the chat if you can see that or not. It's hard. So we'll hang this one up to dry or to cool a little bit. Always let them cool down a little bit before I try to throw them back into the oven to bake them. That way I can get them all strung out and everything the way I need. But I definitely like that. Setting that temperature where you can just set that jig head on there and let it go. Just let it coast. You know, I've seen guys do this where they got those heat guns, they're set at 1200 degrees, they're counting 8 seconds. You know, it sounds like they're riding bulls to me, but what do I know? Uh, you know, and to me, it always just seemed exhausting. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but and you can never just do like this where you just set it on there and keep moving, because at 1200 degrees you're going to melt your lead. I've seen guys use a propane torch. Boy, they got cojones, them guys. The propane torches scare me. I'd have a puddle and a hook. That's all I'd have when I got done with the propane torch. I'm just not that coordinated, I guess. Some of them say watch until it sweats. I even heard one guy say, "Oh, you want to heat it up enough that it smokes." Well, if it smokes, you're way too hot. You've just degraded the quality of your pigment. I mean, drastically degraded it. So I don't know if I could ever heat it to where it smokes. That would panic me. There we go. Those ones are done. I'm going to close up this. Now the next one I want to do, I want to run a couple of these in purple. Because purple with red and gold glitter, man, the smallies just love that color for some reason. And if you're running something along the lines of a Morning Dawn trailer, purple's perfect. Hey, and if you guys are watching this later after the fact, I mean, I've had a couple views, but nobody's in there now. Leave a comment down here, because I want to do a weekly live where I can maybe share one of my projects with you, or maybe some tips and tricks or something. But I'm kind of debating because Sunday, Michael over at 8-Bit Baits does his show, and I'm not missing that. And I think it's Fridays now. Daniel at Bent Rod Fishing is doing his auction over on Whatnot. Uh, and I do my auctions on Whatnot, not for baits, for rocks and collector minerals and stuff. But I do my auctions on Mondays over there. Uh, that seems to be the day that all the curators want to be in there. So let me know what day and time. Make sure you use the time zone, because I'm in mountain time and I sure don't want to miss you. Um, you know what? I do have more that I have to do, huh? And a green pumpkin. Let me get those real quick. So just tell me a day and a time, and if if it seems like there's a consensus, that's when I'll start doing it each week. That way you guys can ask questions and stuff if you have questions, or just poke fun or whatever it is. It's get with other bait makers, trade some recipes, and do some bait swaps, things like that. It's these live streams should be fun, I would think. Might pick something up. I don't know. Oh, look there, ladybug's out already. This has been a weird, weird winter. I'm in northern Wyoming, just almost Montana. And normally, starting in December, we are below zero. And by mid-January through the end of February, we are way below zero and stay there. But this year, we went below zero for maybe 2 days. Normally, this time of the year, we'd have, 8, 10 feet of snow on the ground. We don't have any. It snows. Well, I shouldn't say we don't have any. It snowed last night. We got about 4 inches last night. And now I'm going fishing on Wednesday because it's going to be 80 degrees on Wednesday. Absolutely unheard of in this area. We had a nice big swalies. Doing these in the same color, they're just a little bit smaller jig head. I'm going to leave that pin in there for a little bit. Oh, what am I doing? I already put one on there. See, I'm lost. Lost already. I'll get that one. And we'll give that one a nice little dip in there. Big, big flakes. So all right to leave that pin in there until it cools down some. But boy, you sure don't want that heat shrink tubing cooling down on it too much. See, I get in this rhythm where one's off, one's on, and it takes about as long as I can get through. I suppose, if you need your forceps to do this, it's fine by me. Use them. I guess I don't stick my finger in the heat. I like this green pumpkin color. It goes with everything. You can put a green pumpkin skirt on it. You can put a brown skirt on it, a brown and red skirt on it, especially when you put the red flake in there with it. Uh, you can put a black skirt on it. It just, no matter what, it looks good with green pumpkin. It's kind of like that wife of yours. Does this make me look fat? Don't ever tell her. That was it. What's on it? I bumped it or something. Strange, strange mark. Be a good way to get in a lot of trouble. Tell your wife, who do we got here? Hey, it's Bruce. Good morning. How are you? You able to hear me okay and everything? Just finishing coffee, huh? I'm gonna have to go start some. I always kind of worry because running that heat gun, this is a pretty quiet one. Well, doing green pumpkin with red and gold flake. You gonna make some baits today? Oh, good. Yeah, I had a yellow, oh man, I can't even remember the brand. It was a big yellow heat gun, and that thing was absolutely miserable loud. I'm gonna let the ladybug go. This is a Hercules heat gun, so I can set the temperature, and I set it for 500 degrees, drop my jig on there, and leave it. So I'll get up here and get some of these, get my pins out. I discovered that if you try to pull these little nylon pins out while that's too hot, you just make a gooey mess. I only do plastics, 99.9% remelts. And outside highest temperature today is 60. Wow. Where you at? We'll make some tomorrow, huh? No, I just did a whole bunch of morning dawn, like 600 of them. North Carolina. Wow, 60 tomorrow, huh? It's been a strange year, and you guys have had more snow than usual. See, we've had less. We're down almost 80% on our snowfall this year. Oh, really? No snow in your country? See, on the news here is saying you guys have been absolutely hammered all winter. But they're reporters, so what do they know? So I put weed guards in these. There's some of the guys around here like those weed guards. Took your road test in 8 inches, huh? Let's see. Uh, six. So I put a little heat shrink tubing on, set it on the heat gun, dip the one that's been on there. Then I go into, I use clear and I put glitter in it, but you got to make sure you use really fine glitter. You see how that one came out? You can kind of see it. It's a crappy GoPro. What do you expect? You can kind of see some of that red on there. But then I get the heat shrink off while that's still warm. If you use really regular size, that 015 and 008 glitters, it almost looks too big on the jig head. Kind of like making tiny baits with great big glitter. See, this is at 008 size glitter. It gobs on there. That takes up way too much time to deal with outside, huh? Yeah, and unless you got a garage or something, yeah, that would be hard. See, that's what I'm in. I'm in the baiter hood. Mr. Rogers had a neighborhood, and I've got a baiter hood. So what kind of soft plastics are you making? Um, it's got a, let me dip this one real quick and I'll show you. You know, I think this heat gun was like 26 or $27. It's one of the Harbor Freights, you know, the Hercules brands. But on the back, you got all these buttons and you can set the temperature and it'll hold that temperature. You know, which is kind of nice because it allows me to go faster doing that than trying to count, you know, and keep track and everything else. That's kind of for the birds. Traded Rogers baits for the injector. Yeah, I'm doing a bait trade with him. What molds are you shooting? Oh, on Instagram? I need to figure that Instagram out. I must be doing something wrong because it takes me hours to post anything on Instagram. Well, a lot of people use that Instagram. Uh, DVL Custom Lures. It's the same as my YouTube. Small. Okay, on the Facebook one. I know that if I post to Instagram, it goes on Facebook. But I think if I post to Facebook, it won't go to Instagram. It's kind of weird how it works. And if I post to Facebook, it'll go uh, to my. Let's see, how does that work? Post to Facebook, it goes to Instagram. Instagram posts it to um, oh, what is it that it posts to? Huh? I'll have to look. I can't remember now what it. It's weird how it works out. So 8 baits in a packet or 8 packets of baits? Facebook. Maybe that's what it posts to. I think Instagram posts to Facebook. 8 packs for $20. How many baits are in a pack? What do you do? Like, whose molds are you shooting? Are you using Epic or what? Angling, yeah, okay. I got, um, oh man, what is that one called? Paratrooper. That's probably my favorite angling AI one. Love that Paratrooper mold. That and that core, oh man, it's, can't even remember what they call it now. It's their core shot. It's kind of similar to the Paratrooper, but it's a core shot. I got a couple of their core, their Senkos that I used. Yeah, if you can find a good deal used, so some of these guys that are selling used, they want almost as much as a brand new one. Two of the paratrooper molds, 24 cavity, 4 inch. Oh, ectocrawl, yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna get one of those. That's pretty cool looking mold. Oh, the stingers. To the 4 inch stingers. You like that stinger? Does that shoot pretty well, or What a hell of a deal on the Ecto promo. Holy shit, 80 per mold, that is a good deal. Because I think the Ecto, if I remember right, that's over $200 now. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten them all that cheap. Yeah, um, forget who it was that's saying that that one dents pretty easy. God dang, who was that? One triple C. I think it was somebody that's kind of back there in that area where you're at was saying that that ecto dent's real easy. Or the not the ecto, but the stinger. Go. Switch up colors here. Go to this purple. Do a couple of these. Yeah, you don't use a screw extender, huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got that mold. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's a nice mold. Yeah, maybe that's who it was. You might be right. That might be who it was. I'm gonna try to get you to buy one of his shark teeth. Oh, you looking for more pucks and stuff? 'Cause I don't know, 5 or 6 5-gallon buckets full. It doesn't seem like I can ever find time to use them up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, I guess, that he did the shark tooth video, was it? See, that gets a nice look to it. I don't know if you can really see that. Try to. Stupid thing just never wants to focus. That purple with that red and gold on there is just really makes a nice color. Okay. Yeah, see, I go through 5 gallons every week or week and a half. I make a lot of plastics. That's true. Yeah, as long as they glittered it up good. I've seen some where they put the wrong glitter and the wrong color, and it's terrible. Oh, restricts your time to shoot. Yeah, I don't know why some guys think more is better when it comes to glitter. And then you got to watch which glitter they're using because some of those glitters will bleed when you heat them. Oh yeah, see, and I'm outside most of the time. I'd much rather be outside. Oh yeah, yeah, I have diabetes real bad. That's why they gave me a service doggy. Oops. Yeah, it's been my problem. My dad is German and English, and my mom's a wee leprechaun. Need to make more of my little studs for these little guys. Hey, you don't see Irish and German very much. They got potatoes in New York, huh? Rich man's vacation spot. Yeah, the Hamptons is kind of famous for that now. Now, when I bought my land, it was paid 86 bucks an acre. And we're going through and reassessing all the taxes. And they valued my land out at 4 grand an acre now. I think they do that just to get more money. The government had to budget like we have to. They learned not to spend that money. Yeah, that sounds about right. Kind of think property prices are artificially inflated. So you got a lot of smallies up there, or are they all big mouth bass? Let's see, I got to drive clear down to the south end of the state to get into any largemouth bass. It's kind of heartbreaking. I'd kind of like to get some of them. You guys got a bunch of walleye and northern pike and stuff too, don't you? Florida bass bait smolts. Florida bass baits, huh? I don't think I've ever heard of him. I'll have to look. They're both fun and frank, kind of fun to catch. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Florida bass baits. He's got a pretty nice craw. Yeah, bullfrog. There's a wide bass frog. That looks pretty nice. 1.9-inch snake. Oh, he's got a nice weed beaver. Man, that is nice, nice. Three and a half inch real frog. That's kind of weird. He has a picture. 3.5 inch real frog, 98 bucks. I can't tell if he poured that out of metal or what. Crab, shrimp. These wing shats. Gobies. Buzz river frog. He's got a lot of smooth swimmers, doesn't he? Wow, he's got quite a range. Billy Beaver. A 4-inch Billy Beaver. Wow. Taco on the site, I think, huh? I like that weed beaver and that Billy Beaver. Hmm. Regular shad must be a open pour, huh? Yeah. Yeah. I see a lot of lizards and does a lot of stick baits too. Oh, the buzz frog. That's a nice looking frog. Chat and flip dragon, huh? 10 millimeter eye mold, 12 millimeter eye mold. And everybody's making them big damn eyes. Nobody makes the small ones. Fluke stick. There's that forktail minnow. There it is, jackrabbit. That's kind of a wild looking mold. Huh. Power pole fob holder. Oh, he does 3D printing too, huh? Well, I wish he put the quantity, how many baits these molds were pouring. Because, man, that real craw, if he had that in like a 10 cavity mold, I'd grab that. Sako shads. That's what you were talking about. Huh. Jackrabbit is his take on the sixth sense. Yeah, it kind of looked like that. Yeah, it's a pretty nice mold, so that's for sure. I make some of my own too, but I just don't like being in the shop that much. Oh, he's got a Facebook thing, huh? See, I never get on Facebook that much anymore. We'll go on what do they call it? SBPM, SPBM, soft plastic bait makers. I go on there quite a bit anymore. You know, you can get a lot of cool recipes and stuff on that. But that's, I think they call it Discord or something like that. paint. Color and brand name on that um, soft plastics, the SPBM. One of the recipes I've put on there, I mentioned what brand, because brand makes a big difference. Some of the changeables are like that really bad. But that lure works soft black grape. That's a great color. I'd say probably a third what I sell are made with that black grape color. Yeah, I guess that's true. Let's see who's going here. Yeah, the green pumpkin and watermelon green and stuff, they seem to be kind of old standbys that I don't know, I got a bucket full of just variations of greens. Oh, there's somebody going around picking up uh, the pucks and remelts and stuff. Deep Creek. Deep Creek. I've heard that name before. Can't picture where. Yeah, he's running a couple of the big Zorns, isn't he? Somebody else jump in here. I think I'd seen him somewhere. I can't remember quite where. Yeah. Hey, 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 what you up to? Yeah, I'm glad you did too, man. I'm playing with powder today. Oop, 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 oop. Put too much in there. Man, I sure like that last video of yours. That was funny. Creatures is another North Carolina guy. Yeah, he's into all the crappie fishing. I got to do a bait trade with him. Yeah, wait till you see what I'm building for. Let's shut that off real quick. Um, I built one and I sent it over to Bait Chuck and to Michael over there. And then I came up with a cup idea because Michael does a lot of spinners. And so I developed a cup. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. That basically has these slits in it, and you cover them with rubber so that the rubber folds back. Like that, right? But the rubber's on the inside and the outside. So you put your powder in there, you take your spinner, and you push it down in them slits. And now the powder flows around your lead. When you pull it out, you're perfectly coated, but it doesn't spill the powder out the sides. Yeah, hey, I'll build you one for some baits. I'll trade you out some baits for a fluid bed like this. The biggest thing I like about it, there's one part, and then you got your cups, and these little cups you get on uh Lure Magic, and they're like $7 for the cups with a. They got this really nice filter in them. Well, you can kind of see in there how well that's boiling. I mean, and that's just super light. Uh, Here, we'll do one of those real quick. It makes such a huge difference in how everything powder coats. Got to turn my heat gun on. I'm a lazy bait maker. I just set. I don't know if you can see that. I just set my jigs right on top. This heat gun, I'll show you real quick. You can set the temperature to any temperature you want. So I set it to 500 degrees. And then, so I put my heat shrink on and I put my little, because these have those brush guards in them. And I just set it there. And then I go to the next one, get my little plug for my brush guard, put my heat shrink on. That one's warm. That one goes on. And then I dip it. And then back over for just a second. And that's done. So, but yeah, do that one more. You want to see something really cool? Let me find this. Oh, there it is. So you take, I get this Barlow's, that half pound of the white or the clear. It's clear powder paint. And so 3 tablespoons of clear and then a quarter tablespoon of siren scales. And watch what this does. I hope you can see it on there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. If I could get that camera to focus on. Oh yeah, I love that heat gun, man. I don't know how I lived without it. But it's really nice, for this because you never. It's really easy to overheat these, and then you burn that powder paint when you put it on. But you set that temperature to 400 or 500 degrees, you'll never overheat it. See, and then I can just swirl that in there, get a nice shake. I do a lot of these just white pearl jig heads, and then I can put like a ghost shad trailer behind it, and man, they're phenomenal here. But I need to get more crappie baits. I got a crappie slayer mold, and that's about the smallest mold I have. So, but I'll trade you out. I'll make you a fluid bed in um trade for some baits if you want. Yeah, it's coming out nice. What else did I do that was cool? Oh, the purple rupees. I don't know if rupees will show up on white. We'll find out, won't we? Right. Oh man, they are. Look at that. I don't know. Can you guys see that or need something to contrast it, don't I? There, now you can kind of see them rupees just glow. A 6 ounce lower craft injector. You'd have to send it to me. I could build you one. See, a couple of this size. Yeah, it's been crazy busy. I got I got one kid that he's he's got cognitive issues. And I'm taking out fishing, but he always has to bring his brothers with him. And his brothers are very, very impatient. We're going out next week. And I tell you what, the three of them on a boat, man, it is more tuck and cover than combat was. They get to arguing and fussing and fighting, and man, 5 after I sent them a picture of what I need. Oh, for that piston, yeah, they it's hard for them to do one-ups because they're set on CNC machines and they make 100 of those at a time, and they only make them for what they need to fill. So see, I'm the world's laziest jig maker there, bud. Ah, especially when you drop them in there. That one's coated. Oh boy, that one's going to be thick. Little fish might sink a little faster. Let's see. Where'd I put it? This one. You'll like this one, bud. This one's, I catch a lot of crappie on this. Can't, so hard to get these things to focus, isn't it? So that's a 6 tablespoons of clear, and then a quarter teaspoon of the 008 red and a quarter teaspoon of 008 gold. Yeah, N2's there in North Carolina. He had he didn't have N2 though. I like N2. I got those I got the I bought the dual injector in a 10-ounce N2 and found out I can't push enough plastic into enough molds before it cools down. I was ending up with 3-inch long plugs in that thing. So I bought the N2. I think they're 8 ounce, and then I bought the N2 6 ounce. And then I did get Adams that SDG block. Well, I'm not getting that one coated very well. There it is. You got the SDG block too, didn't you? Yes. Yeah. Well, and part of the problem is like I come out in the morning to make bait, and during the summer we'll be 40 degrees. And in the winter we could be down, 20, 25 below zero. So it's just too hard to keep everything warm. But when I went down to that 6-inch dual injector of N2s, that one I can work pretty well. I can shoot that. Okay. You ever use these things? These weighted EWGs? That ain't working very well. No wonder. Oh, bingo. I'm gonna cheat. Um, I use these on a lot of those like for walleye and the bass here. So let's see how this is gonna work. So we got our slit in there. Yeah, you guys should be able to see this. What I'm gonna do is take and hold that like that, go down in it. Ah, look at that. Man, that is slick. So I'll send you one of these cups like this so that you can do spinners. Man, that is nice. But see, when you hook these up, if I got any of those. You'll find a fish real quick. Okay. So we got a lot of these gizzard shad here. Um, and about half your fish that you make, the bodies are kind of got that whitish belly to them. Well, when you fish these, go right through the nose. Okay, Red, I know. I got it. Thank you. Good boy. So turn this way. Yeah. So now you got that weight in there, and that weight kind of matches that belly color. It doesn't distract from the belly at all. But when you fish this, that thing will stroll like that. It is really a cool way to fish these baits. And I've got those all the way down to this little 16th ounce. So if you're doing smaller hooks and stuff, smaller baits, but that's how those fish is like that. And then they make that, because you can use that or that. Let me grab this. You can fish this with the hover rig too, but the hover rig on a big fish like this, the hover rig sets too high. And so you don't get that nice rolling action. So I go with this bottom weight on these. So kind of a cool way to do it. Just a little different style, I guess. But that makes a big difference being able to do that. Yeah, I don't know. You don't use those EWG hooks for crappie though, do you? You're welcome. So lay down. My dog's trying to tell me my diabetes is acting up. Man, that is just nifty. Let's see what I designed this cup to do. So I make a lot of these little spinners, right? And you can't get those down in the cup, so you have to take a brush and do them. And you can never, with a brush, you don't ever get it really even. So I made this cup just to do those spinners. So, but I've got to send one to Michael over there at 8-Bit Baits. And I'll send one to you. I even make, I'll send you one of these too. So, I don't know if you can see that. That's a crazy little toy, isn't it? But what you do, see if I got a piece of wire around. Okay. So you take your wire, and there's a little slit in there. You feed your wire up through that slit, and then there's a wide side and a narrow side. You want to take the wide side and put it on that wire, and you're going to turn this till it catches that. Oops, I came out of my slit. So to catch that wire, and you bend it around until you're back in line like that. And then take this and bend that tag end back. And now you made your R bend. Then you can take this wire, get it down here where my old man eyes can see it. There we go. So you put it back in like that. And now you take the narrow side and put on there. And as long as this R bend stays flat, and that's not a very good R bend, but it'll work. If I can catch my wire. Now you bend that around, take that off, and we trim this down. And so this side goes in your mold and catches your hook, and then you pour your jig, and you've made one of these spinners like this. So, but see, I got that hot now. And all I do is I take that whole thing, dump it down in there. And there I've covered that. It's kind of a tricky way to do that, isn't it? Yeah, those N2s are nice injectors. I don't know. So I ended up with 4 full sets of N2 injectors. And then I got the SDG block, and I got got the regular N2 block. And for what I do, that SDG block works a lot better. There we go. Pretty as can be. One more of those. And I think I'm done. Oh, so now do you do a lot of laminating and stuff then, or? I don't know. I don't know if the fish really care that much. Uh, if your mold is cast or machined. I think if you present it right to them, they'll bite anything. Close this down. Now, when I send you this, here, we'll get this other cup on. Matter of fact, we'll put something in there you can actually see. Some loose stuff off. Okay. Lid. There it is. What would be a good color that you could see? Oh, have you tried this craw? Is that what it's called? Copperhead. Let's see what I got here. Oh, I got the perfect one. So you have to shake this up in the jar really good. So you pinch the fresh Cinco and roll it in palm. Are you trying to get the salt out of it or? Okay, preachers, creatures, you watch the magic happen now. This is called Copperhead. This is one of my favorite colors from these guys. Now, when you get this, when I send this to you, you see how it's doing that volcano-y thing? Everybody says, oh, stop when it volcanoes and back it off a little. They want you to go down here. Well, you can see that powder settle back down. On these, just keep turning. Go right through that volcano. And look what happens. When you get that fast rolling boil like that, you're going to get a really good coverage. And if you ever add glitter to your flake or to your powder coats, the only way you'll keep that glitter suspended is by having that fast boil. Oh, dulls the finish, huh? Yeah, I don't like salted baits. I've never had very good luck with them. Okay, bud, you ready to see the magic? Well, look at that color. That's one of the coolest colors I've ever seen. Yeah, see, I actually need a little more air. There we go. Now we're starting to get afloat. Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm not in there right. Hang this up here. There we go. Might need a little bit more in there too. Come on. There we go. Set up packed some. There it goes. There it is. But that kind of a boil right there will keep your flakes suspended because this is called copperhead, so it has a real tiny green, almost like a mica powder to it. That glitter does make a mess, but it's fun. Making baits makes a mess. Just think of Preacher's Creatures there. He's doing it on a freezer. At least I got these nice benches. Yeah, I like this bench. I got this at Home Depot, but you can crank it and it moves up and down. And so I can get it right up to where I need it, because it's hard at a regular desk. In my wheelchair, I can't fit underneath my legs underneath the regular desk. So Those out. Close those up. Yeah, I did all that. 17 different colors. So, have you done any of these hover jigs yet? These hover rig jigs, whatever they call them. These are cool in that. Oh, the epic 4-inch. What's it called? Oh, it's a 4-inch fluke. Um, anyway, it's kind of a long, narrow fluke. These things work phenomenal in that. And I made some that are about a third this size, or tiny. I was going to try them in the crappie slayer. Set up on your workbench on the other side of your basement. So you got to drag cameras back and forth. That's all right, I guess. You do what you got to do, right? I was kind of lucky. I got this garage, so yeah, I come home one day and these guys had set up this garage out on my place. And I asked them what they were doing. They were at the wrong address. And I guess they use a forklift or something to lift it off the trailer. And it was going to cost them several $1,000s to get the forklift back out to lift it up and move it. And so I told the guy, well, I'll give you half price for it. So I bought it for half what it was sold for originally. And the neighbors got a different one. So I guess sometimes happy accidents happen. Get my pins all cleaned up. That was a blessing. I tell you what, though, with luck like that, that's the reason I never gamble. Because I done used up all my luck right there. I'd never win at gambling. Deep freezer for soft plastics? That's fun, though. It's fun watching your videos. I really enjoy them. They are a lot of fun. I'll have to send you one of my no more shakens. Did you ever see my video on that? On the no more shaken? I always worry about Adam. He tells that story of shaking pigment all over his garage. That's why I invented no more shaking. Then I got no more mixing. That's for the 5-gallon buckets. Oh no, that's an injector that I made. It's a 60/40 injector. That's not a shooting star one. No, I never did get I ordered one, or I was gonna order it, and they told me it was like a 5 month wait. And so I ended up just buying some molds or something instead of getting a shooting star. I'll get a shooting star eventually. Have you looked into getting one yet? Two those left. Getting tubs emptied out. Oh, okay. Oh, you did get a shooting star finally. Okay, cool. I guess I haven't seen your latest video then. Oh, those Presto Pot things? Yeah, I got one that I made. A pole man shooting star. So, did you go for that 70/30 injector and the whole 9 yards with yours? Man, that would be fits. Okay, so maybe I haven't missed your last video then. I mean, for me, it would be well worth buying one. I think though, if I get one, I'm going to get the bigger one. You got yours all set up and you're playing with it though, right, man? I mean, you can't have a shooting star and leave it sitting there in a box. Michael over at 8-Bit, he has one sitting in a box. I thought that was like the 11th commandment, thou shalt set up their shooting star. Yeah, you gotta you gotta be mindful of those presto pots. Um, the amperage draw on them is really unpredictable. So it'll be drawn, you figure 250 degrees. If you're getting a 6 quart one, I think those are 40 watts, which is roughly 4 amps. But that's 4 amps when it is fully heated and just maintaining. So as soon as you turn the stirrers on and you're bringing air down into them and you're pulling that warm plastisol up to the surface, they then it ramps up, and those things can go up to as high as 60 amps at times. And so then you start overheating the wiring in your house, and you'll start tripping breakers. And if you got a stuck breaker or something, they've been known to start a fire. So you got to be mindful of them and make sure you don't turn it on and walk away. Yeah, he's got the electricity in his new shop. Uh, he actually he got enough that I think he's going down to get another microwave or something. But he can run the microwave and the vacuum pot at the same time now. He's thrilled. Oh, you don't have 240 out. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Being down in the basement, your breaker box is probably upstairs, so then you'd have to get a whole new circuit run, and it could be a hassle. So, but see, I've got 220 all over the place. I like 220. It's if you can run on 220, it's going to cost you a lot less. It's more efficient. Marketplace is where the microwaves are, huh? Yeah, the one that I got, I think I ordered on Amazon, but it came to Walmart, and I had to go to Walmart and pick it up. So I imagine I just ordered one that Walmart probably already had anyway. But yeah, that Facebook Marketplace, yeah, I would imagine you can get a cheap one there. We have a lady here in town that's running I think she's calls it a use sell it. Uh, Breaker box is 10 feet from my bait making, but it's full. Oh, okay. Okay. So you'd have to get new service dropped in and everything. That'd be way expensive. Um, but this lady, I guess you pay $5 a month or something. You bring your junk to her, and she puts it out on a table in a big warehouse that she has and sells it for you for $5 a month. So I have picked up, like when I built my Presto pot, I picked up the Presto pot there, and it was like $3. So, but yeah, Amazon Marketplace, that's what you're talking about, is Amazon Marketplace. I sell baits on that. Have you tried selling baits on it? And I don't know how long this thing went. Oh, 2.5 hours. We've been on for a while. Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, that's it. Facebook. Yeah, that I can list a pack of baits on there, the soft plastics, and within minutes somebody will be contacting me about it. It's been a phenomenal place for me to sell the soft plastic baits. Unplug that. 20 bucks for 1,000 watt, 13 miles away. 20 bucks for 1,000 watt Presto pot with the motor on it. Man, that's a deal because that stir motor for mine alone was like, I don't know, 120 bucks. Scored a 5-inch core shot, 3.5 Phantom. That's what I have, the 3.5 Phantom core. Yeah, core shot. 4 collie grubs, 6-ounce Lurcraft injector, 35 miles from the house. That is a deal because I think for that Phantom core I paid about 250. $20 was a microwave, yeah. Yeah, because mine was new and I think it was 50 bucks, 55 bucks. 250 for the 6-quart Presto pot. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's about what bait what's his name? Bait Tactics or something like that. He's selling them for. Okay, man. Hey, I'll get this parts ordered for your fluid bed. And then I'll get a hold of you. Sounds good, bud. I appreciate it. You have a good one. I'm going to close out of this thing. We're 2.5 hours into it almost. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? So thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment below on if there's a good day and time to do these, because I don't want to interfere with other guys. So let me know. 5-inch core shot went up to 175. Yeah. Yeah, they can get expensive. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you guys later.